Nah.
Yeah, well, you showed me love darkness. Apparently, you know the stars. Look at you. Go ahead, bro. Hey.
Anywho. So
what you on, BB?
not to mention a lot of course, needless to say, a lot of these rookies are Latin players and foreign-born players, and a lot of them are also legacy players. Of course, you know Toronto have their trinity in Bouchette, Biggio, and Guerrero, who are all offspring of former players, and looks like all except for Bouchette.
Guerrero got hurt.
Did he get hurt?
Yeah, he's on the IL. I don't know how long though. No longer the DL.
Of course, we got Alvarez. You have the youngster from. Is he a rookie? Is Tim Story a rookie in Colorado? Who? Story.
I'm not sure.
Is he a rookie?
It's Trevor.
Who? Story. Last name Story.
His last name Story?
Is it Trevor Story or
It's
Tim Story?
Trevor Story.
Is
I think
Trevor
he's a rookie.
You're telling a story about this player. And
The boy in Colorado, man.
again,
boy,
who?
Colorado's not a
Again,
I
who?
told you he's been in the league about 3 years, man.
Yeah, he made his MLB debut in 2016.
Oh, well.
So what is he doing? Is he hitting a lot of home runs?
He's
he-
playing pretty well.
Yeah, he's in Colorado.
So you're not gonna take that man serious because he in
I'll take
Colorado?
him seriously, but
I still love Colorado as a baseball team.
yeah, you know,
What? Guess Colorado has a baseball team.
Denver has a baseball team.
Do they?
I don't
Okay.
know why they call them Colorado. I
Haven't seen them in a while. The same way
What
they
you
call
call them,
Miami,
Denver
Florida.
That's what it should have been, but I
The
don't know why
Denver
they have to be
Rockies?
the
The
Colorado.
Denver
That's not the Colorado
the
Broncos
Denver
or the
Rockies?
Colorado Nuggets.
Well, that's different.
Like it's not there. I don't understand the Texas Rangers either.
They're the
It's
Denver
stupid.
Nuggets because they weren't originally from Denver. Where are the Nuggets from?
What are Nuggets anyway? Golden Nuggets, San
Nuggets,
Francisco? San Francisco?
Were they Sacramento
San
Nuggets?
Diego.
San Diego Nuggets?
Hey, Wales.
Hey, San Diego Rockets.
Yeah, and the San Diego Clippers.
You know, they always try stuff in San Diego.
Hey,
And the San Diego just don't want them anymore.
Can't keep a team.
It's too much
football
stuff.
team.
Nah, the weather's too nice. They don't have to deal with this right now, so people have to go outside. Ain't nobody sitting inside right now watching
Watching sports. They're out there on the surf. They're
Yeah,
surfing.
man.
Yeah, San Diego Beach is.
They're actually using
I
real
don't-
clippers, not
Yeah, exactly.
The water's cold in the Pacific, so I ain't really. It's cold.
That's perfect at this weather.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yes, for us, but it doesn't get that hot up there.
I mean, it does.
Well, yeah, San Diego's down there.
Yeah, but San
It does.
Diego, that's
It's actually cold.
it don't
It's
get
hot.
this high.
I mean, it won't not this,
No,
this
it
hot,
doesn't. Just
They don't
don't
have
have
the
the temperatures,
humidity.
and that's why it costs so much to live in San Diego.
but- Yeah, that too.
Because it's so nice.
Yes, it's very nice.
It's not as expensive as LA though.
No, but it's damn near. It's right there. No, seriously.
I mean, it's still considered Southern Cal.
Shout out to my boy Ben.
I know people who are in the Navy. And
Shout out to my boy Ben Anderson. He lives in
You
San
gotta
Diego.
live
He's
on
a real
You
estate.
priced out, man.
Yeah, he's a real
Is that
estate.
expensive?
Man, it's crazy. Yeah, it's about like
I've never
that.
been.
It's
I don't
like
know.
2,500. You know, for your one bedroomer.
Yeah, it's.
You know,
Yeah, my boy Ben was selling a house for
house.
1.5.
I thought you were gonna say
Exactly.
something else, boy. I was like, whoa.
No, not that
We're
Ben.
not opening cases in here, man.
No, my boy Ben Anderson. He was last year was selling a house for 1.5.
Yeah, man, I got
And
a
it was like something. It was like Daddy's house.
Well, I mean,
Doesn't look like
That's
that.
nice house,
Square footage would be like Daddy's house.
that's easily $1.5 million house right there.
I mean, it has nice amenities to it. Had a roof porch. You know what I'm saying?
Roof porch.
Yeah, you can see over the city. That was nice.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Was it overlooking the bay?
It was overlooking the city.
Is that considered the bay, Southern Cal? That's not the bay at all.
The Bay
That's the
Area?
ocean.
Like
The
the
Bay Area is
Bay Area?
more
No,
than
no.
that.
Well, there's a bay in San Diego.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it overlooking the bay?
No, it was not.
You know, there's definitely a bay.
Based on the airport side.
Anyway,
Yeah, so now let's get into this.
discussing California.
So we're gonna talk
real
about the
estate.
Padres best player too, since we're talking about Rockies best player.
I couldn't tell you who the
Exactly.
Padres-
Why are we talking about
Machado?
Machado didn't even start talking about San Diego. Because we were talking about Colorado.
Oh yeah.
How that is.
Look, cause we talking about how no
The
teams
San Diego
seem to
thing.
survive in San Diego. That's
But yeah, it's
what
that too. They tax their teams a lot.
No,
Yeah, that's
people
crazy.
just don't want to.
San Diego Superchargers.
All right, there we go.
Yeah,
Nice
LA
little,
Chargers.
nice little transition.
Yeah, no, but no.
Transition it back.
Before we get into the NFL, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but what is y'all's position on this Rich Paul?
I mean,
The Rich Paul rule.
The Rich Paul
it, everybody knows what it. If you know what it is, if you have a feeling about it, you know what it is.
rule. What do you mean by that? First off, for those of you who don't know, the NCAA last week just announced that I don't
In
even
order to be
understand.
an agent and be able to pick up a player going into the draft from the NCAA, which
You have
is
to have
everybody almost.
Correct. They
You
must
have
be
to have a
certified.
bachelor degree.
No, they must be certified through the NBA Players Association. They must have a bachelor's degree. They must have also be practicing for some number of years and something else and something else and something else.
Several stipulations, which is good. You don't want any Joe and Blow just coming in there talking to these kids, giving them money up front, and then blah 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 blah. But
Yeah, but it's not also the NCAA trying once again to control something that is outside of
this is
their
exactly
control.
the NCAA trying to control something that's outside of their control.
Because of course, having a bachelor's degree does not
Make you smart.
does not well that too, but definitely doesn't make you a good or a poor
Game time.
agent.
Nah, but I mean, but a lot of things, require a bachelor degree. So
Being an agent does not though.
no, it did. No, but a lot of jobs
The
require
job
it, but
description, you don't need a bachelor, but the
Oh,
job
yeah, yeah,
description can call for you to have a bachelor's degree.
Well, where I am, if it says you need a bachelor's degree, you need a bachelor's degree, or like 47 years experience.
A long time now.
So now, Mizzle, you were hinting at we all know what it is. So what are you insinuating, sir? Let's throw it out there.
I mean, it's made for people of different hue. Because a lot of us wouldn't even go.
Wait a minute, this man just slurped on the mic.
I thought I had a little more in there than I actually had.
What's going on today?
Yeah, but what happened? Okay, but you explain your position.
It's
Why is the Rich Paul rule racist?
because
Do you not share that position, Mr. Day?
I mean, okay, just let me hear your spiel as to why it's racist.
people of color,
Uh-huh.
no matter what color, people of color
Black people, okay.
do not
I'm
have.
not talking about people of color. I don't even know what that means. Black people,
Okay, black people
Negro, colored, Black, African American folk.
don't have the same opportunities in college all the time to be able to even get to that position.
What, to get a degree?
No, to have a degree and then go into the field of being an agent.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So some may have interned.
but there's Black Asians.
Yeah, but come on now, you know the disparity is ridiculous.
Yeah, but the disparities
But there's
with
black,
us in everything
there's black
except
agents.
basketball.
So you wouldn't say that this rule is being implemented to, if not expand, but to definitely ensure that the disparity remains? Why are you shrinking, sir?
I don't think it, I don't
What
see
did
it
you have to
as,
say?
and this is going to be interesting coming from me. I don't see it as a racist thing either. I see it more like classes maybe. You know, they trying to keep the tight knit, keep the money basically in the same house, keep everything tight knit, make everybody go through the same family, keep the same ring, and do everything.
No, but I'm also saying
for the NCAA.
this has been going on for years, though. This has been going whatever they're trying to prevent in 2019. It's been going on for years. But now that it's the Rich Paul rule, what are they trying to really prevent?
Who named it the Rich Paul rule?
I mean,
LeBron named it the Rich Paul rule.
Right.
So I'm like, what makes it the Rich Paul rule? First off,
Because he's the one
They
that
were-
he's the one actor that doesn't have a degree.
He's the one that got all the
all the
money,
money, all the money,
So-
all the influence, all everything right now.
Okay, but what does it stop him from doing? So,
Able to get the first leg up, of any athlete that wants to dibble into the draft.
just until they declare though. Once they declare,
okay, so this is like
then
them
he's
taking the
good.
rules
This
they
is the
passed
one.
last year.
This is for the ones that where they can go get an agent, see where they'll go, and
And then
still
go
go
back.
back.
Yes.
For those, he won't be able to do any players. Rich Paul will
Right,
have to
because
handle
if you
those
sign
players.
with Rich
Once
Paul-
you sign with Rich Paul, you have to double.
You're out completely. You can't come back.
Which
right?
is usually the reason you would sign with Chris Paul in the first.
Rich
Wow, thank you, Jesus. Rich Paul.
Paul probably had to be either.
That also,
You might wanna look into that
because
now,
a lot
because his career is
of basketball players, especially ones who retired, they
That's
can't
the
go
only-
into the
that's
NBA.
the problem I
And
have
A lot of
with-
these basketball players do not have
These basketball players are
have
football players, baseball players.
diplomas, not diplomas.
Several of them, their next field after playing
Degrees, yes. I'm sorry.
is
I mean,
front office.
Yeah, I mean, but
Or
Rich
agents.
Paul. Yeah, but I mean, but Rich Paul can just go to
Rich
DeVry.
Paul's, yeah, Rich Paul's different. Yeah, he could just pay to get his
He
bachelor's
can go to
degree.
DeVry and get his degree
I'm
in
saying
36 weeks.
those people, like let's say
So-
let's say Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups
Four-year
never
degree.
whatever.
Or
Let's
Trump
say
U.
Go to Everest.
Trump you. You don't even have to see
Man, let
Please
B-Mac
don't go
get
to
it
Trump.
in, man.
Please don't go to Trump. So let's say Chauncey Billups, instead of being the GM, he wants to be an agent, and he never completed his college degree. He would now be forced to go to a reputable college degree. I'm assuming college, probably somewhere in the NCAA. Because
It just says bachelor's degree.
It just says bachelor's degree.
That's all it says.
Well, now he has to go, and it's just another leg up for them to go, which will probably, when you've already got millions of dollars, do you want
That
to
also eliminates Jay-Z.
it
But
does.
Jay-Z's not an agent. Jay-Z owns an agency.
It eliminates
Well,
a lot.
he has an agent's license.
Yeah, but he just talks to people.
Yeah, but does he?
I'm sure. I mean, he
Or
probably
does he
doesn't.
have an
His
agency
name
that's
won't be on
licensed?
there.
And he has other
I
agents.
mean, I'm sure that was to get the agency, Rock Nation agency.
Like the doctor in Screwball.
He's still an
wasn't-
agent.
couldn't prescribe medicine.
Yeah, he could.
But
He
he
still,
owned
well,
the
yes, he
clinic.
was a doctor.
Yeah, so
I mean,
Jay-Z-
believe it or not, I don't actually view this as racist. I just find it, once again, to just be
Pointless. Not pointless, just frivolous. Nothing.
It fixes nothing.
It is. I mean,
It's
it
not
is.
fixing a problem.
I mean, I understand.
It almost seemed like the NCAA was like, "Hey, they not talking about us. Let's just come
Yeah,
up
let's
with
do
something."
something.
Like,
But that's what I'm saying. None of this mattered at all before.
No, it didn't.
Because
And
no
then-
other agent.
And then that statement.
There's plenty other
Why are you
agents.
shrinking?
I don't know.
Like,
Yeah, but they're saying that they want to. They're trying to emphasize the importance of earning a degree.
of earning a
Is that what their intention
That's
was?
what this
That's
bullcorn
the
statement
statement.
says. And then it says, while different and distinct are rules taken together, which is the manner they were meant to be exempt, provide a clear opportunity for our student athletes to receive excellent advice from knowledgeable professionals on either the college or professional path they choose. So
So they're saying that
there's no course of study for sports agents.
I was gonna say you're not. So you're not known.
It's a major and
You could.
Oh yeah, there's sports management and yeah, there is.
Sports management though, but that's
no.
So they're saying
that's teaching you how to be an AD and stuff though, right? Like,
No,
does
well,
that
the-
teach you how to be an agent?
The major would be sports management, and your emphasis would be on whatever you want
Business
to be on.
administration.
oh finance, huh?
One of those.
But how does finance even prepare you to be a sports agent?
Because
Because all you basically negotiate is terms for contracts.
Yeah, all you
But
gotta
you'd
do,
be a
I
lawyer,
mean,
huh?
you don't have to be a lawyer. No,
That's
you
the thing.
can hire a lawyer. You
You
can have a
just
lawyer
have to-
working with you.
But see, that's exactly my point. So are they insinuating that the only way to be knowledgeable is if you have a degree in this?
No, but hold on. But if we
It's
just
not
if
a
we just-
degree in that. It's just a bachelor's.
If we just came up with 5 different degrees that you can have in order to be an agent, it sounds like they need some sort of stipulations and some sort of things that you have to have in order to be a part of an agent with the NCAA.
You just have to
because
have
you
a
can
bachelor's,
literally
though.
just be anybody.
But they don't want you to be an
Anybody
agent with
can
the NCAA. They want you to be certified through the NBA Players Association.
Because you're going to be moving them, but you're only dealing. They're talking about the ones that are just dealing with these college mid-level players,
Because that's the only one that
which are the
affects.
mid-level agents,
Yeah, because like
which are just the upstarts.
the NCAA, once you, I mean, like you say, it's just messing up that whole thing of if you want to go back. That's who it hurts. But like, if Zion wanted to sign with Rich Paul, it wouldn't have hurt him because he wasn't in danger of having
That's
it.
right. And he
That's
still
right.
could have done it.
I'm like, it was
He
so
still
pointless.
could've done
It was so pointless that I actually didn't even follow it. But I just went to thinking, I was like, man, what?
Yeah, then Chris Broussard getting all,
Yeah, he got fired up about it. And I'm
Social
like,
media,
man,
he getting all, what we call, what kind of man?
beige rage.
Beige
Beige.
rage. Beige rage.
And then did you see it? He was like,
Shout out to Chris
he's
Broussard.
like, even though I didn't go to an HBCU, I'm like, so shut up.
But I didn't even understand his point. Like, the HBCUs are still in the NCAA.
And he even said that.
So
He's
what are
like,
you talking
I know they NCAA, but I was like, so what are you talking about?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons to give for people to go to HBCUs, but it's inconsequential. It's not like if you go to HBCU,
Well, what-
you can sign with an agent.
I guess what he was trying to say was to
We're
reflect, to
giving the
redistribute,
colonizing.
to redistribute the wealth, pretty
Right.
much.
Uh-huh.
But it was like you said, the governing body still gets paid
NCAA.
off of this.
Yeah.
With being the NCAA, the massa
Yeah.
still get his bread.
I mean, what I'm saying is, yeah, they're still subject to the same rules, so it's not like you can go to Howard or Hampton and think that
I guess what he's
I
saying
can
is
sign with Rich
that,
Paul. No, I know what
but
he
you
was
going to
saying.
those campuses, I guess, generates enough revenue for those campuses, and it creates enough buzz for those campuses.
I mean, they would have to, but you have not for 1 year. Because one of them cats, they wouldn't, unless they just.
Well, why they wouldn't? So why they can all decide to go play together instead of going to Duke?
They can all be, like,
The one and done
if all
thing
these
only
guys
works
decide to
if
go
you
to NC
continue to
Central.
I
do
would
it.
say if they be like, man, let's not go to Duke, let's go to A&T.
Exactly.
They would be I guarantee you.
if RJ Barrett and Zion went to A&T, it would have been.
It would have been
It would have been
Same thing.
And all I'm saying is, what would happen next year? What would they have next year? They would have to continue with these one and done people.
That's what he's saying.
Which is what the big
Funnel it
programs
in.
do.
Right, that's what he's saying. He's saying
Which is what the big programs
redistribute
do.
the wealth instead of giving it to all of the same blue blood programs. Colonizers, instead of doing that, why not generate and redistribute and make our campuses, our schools, our institutions, those institutions? Because truth be told, it would instantly flip if they decided to do that.
Yeah, it would, but they've been talking about this for years. I hate to, it's never gonna happen. I remember reading the book by Bubba Thomas.
Only reason we needed them is because we couldn't get into the. Only reason they were made.
Yeah.
Right, the only reason they were established,
So
exactly.
now that you can get into the other ones, people aren't going to.
They are gonna do what?
Several people are not going to go to the HBCUs.
Yeah,
I mean, perhaps maybe that's the problem.
but a lot of other
That is
people are
right.
taking advantage of the HBCUs and they're going.
Especially in the baseball field.
Well, baseball definitely.
A lot of people are taking advantage of
Oh, this is you, exactly. When you
A lot of people are taking
you
advantage.
be like, who's this man?
Yeah.
In the baseball game.
Absolutely.
I mean, but there's-
Mississippi Valley State, one of the whitest Mississippi Devils I ever seen in my life.
No, but all of them are.
That's a lot of people are taking
FAMU, they got they
that and softball.
they
But that's because black
dominated.
kids don't play baseball and
Lots
softball.
more scholarships.
That's the problem. That's why, the schools look like that. I mean, they still have to recruit players.
You would say they still got to offer
I
somebody
feel
something.
you. I feel you.
They still got to offer somebody something.
But that goes all the way to grassroots. That goes to high schools.
Well, it's
Yeah.
beyond high school. 'Cause if your first time playing baseball is in the 9th grade, then that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's not.
I mean, it's not it, but it's definitely.
Nah, bro.
It's tough.
It's impossible.
I ain't gonna say it's impossible.
It's 100% impossible to start playing organized baseball in the 9th grade.
It is
You're
pretty-
not going to the majors. you're not getting a college scholarship. You're not playing NAIA baseball. You're just not. You're not playing.
I mean, because it's not a complicated game. You hit the ball, you throw the ball.
But you have to know how to play.
Yes,
the ball is
if the ball is hit to the left of the ball is hit to the left of center of second base, go to that side and cut it
It ain't
off.
a baseball. It's
but
the
that's
hardest
not-
thing to do
yeah,
in
it's
sports.
not the strategy. You have to have so many reps.
Hardest thing to do.
It's
in
not
sports.
impossible.
It is.
Trust me, it's not impossible.
It's impossible. That's why.
They say that about basketball.
No, but basketball is definitely not like that. Because if you 7-1, it. I mean.
Exactly. If you throw 98, you throw 98.
Yeah. Okay. If you throw 98, you throw 98, right?
Yeah, ain't no teaching 98.
There really isn't any teaching 98, but in a sense, in order for you to know that you
There's
can throw
teaching
98.
94 though.
Yeah, but
There's
in order for
teaching
you to throw
76
98,
though.
you
There's
know.
teaching 84.
Man, I tell you, the most difficult part is base running.
No, that's not the most difficult part.
Man, hit
The most difficult part is hitting.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. How are you gonna tell me
So
that?
then why is an object thrown at you?
Why
You
are
got
you
more than
40% at it and you're in the Hall of Fame?
40%
Why are
at
you
it,
30% at it and you're an all-star every time?
If you're 28% at it, you're in the Hall of
When
Fame.
you're breaking it down, fundamentally, it's not a difficult game. Now, of course,
No, it is.
as
The
of
skills are
course,
difficult to acquire.
the elite athletes, but that's anything because people can say that about shooting a jumper. People can say that about yes, they
But
can.
it is a known thing
Because if that was the case, then why everybody ain't in the NBA?
they have hit.
No, there's going to be
Because
better than.
some people shoot better than others. Of course, some people hit a baseball better than others. If that's the case, why doesn't everybody play golf? Because truth be told, you hitting an object that is still on something.
Yes, but it's a very difficult skill to acquire, and it takes a lot of reps.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
not saying that you have to start early. You have to have reps, man. You have to sit there in a batting cage for years.
Yes, you would be
Yes.
better off compared to someone who's
It's not
starting
better.
late.
It's
But,
impossible.
nah, it's far
You're
from
not going to
impossible.
get a kid
It's
who's
far
just
from
now playing organized baseball in the 9th grade and expect him to do anything.
It's far from impossible.
It's not. It's not like what's the name? Kevin Garnett said. Anything is possible. It is.
No,
He
that's-
was right,
That's bogus.
but it's not likely.
But nah,
There will be no Khalil Mack in baseball. You're not gonna start playing your junior year and then be a first.
But that's what I'm saying. So
round
why is it so easier? Why is it so much easier in football, which is the ultimate team game, than it is in
It's
baseball
not
and
strategy.
basketball?
Learning strategy is not hard, and even in baseball, you can do that.
The problem is
I mean,
applying
basketball,
the
you can do that.
skill. The
They
skill
have plenty of
playing
basketball
the
players that are
game.
just tall, and they start playing.
The
Look
skill
at
that
Irvin
you
Johnson.
need to
Remember
play
Irvin
is
Johnson? Irvin Johnson sacked groceries. And a dude saw him sacking groceries, the coach at University of New Orleans, and said, "Hey man, you 7'1".
Let's go.
Come here." And he made the NBA.
Remember
He was just
Jackie-
tall.
You know, remember Jackie Madison?
Irvin Johnson went to University of New Orleans. He was a
Jackie
tall.
Madison?
You remember Irvin played for Seattle.
Yeah.
Remember Jackie Madison?
Oh, okay, Irvin Johnson.
Mhm.
Yeah, there we go.
Because in football and basketball, your size and athleticism can go a long way.
And baseball too.
No,
That's
the
because
skill of playing
it does
baseball
not-
is different.
What
It's
is
like
so different
tennis.
about the
You can't start playing tennis. Never play tennis a day in your life. Start playing tennis at 12, and
Well, then you may not be Serena, but you can play professionally.
No.
You're not gonna be the greatest of all time, no, but you can play professionally.
I don't know about professional.
Especially with the Skeeters, kind of professionally.
Yeah. The Skeeters would. You're not gonna play for the Skeeters if you start playing baseball in 9th grade.
Man, y'all are talking.
You will not play. You will not play. What's that other league? Not even independent league. You will not even play like VFW league. You'll not. You won't. Baseball is difficult. It's a skill sport.
Baseball is not difficult.
Yes, it's hard to
Baseball
do.
is a simple.
Look at
Every game is simple.
Tells you that
Baseball is
this
very
game-
simple.
Shit,
The
it's
game
so
of
hard.
baseball is
Tracy
the
McGrady
hardest
could
thing
do
to do.
Tracy
Out of all
McGrady.
the
Tracy
interests and all the things
McGrady
to
could
do.
do it. Tracy McGrady was just much better at basketball, so he pursued basketball.
not do it.
He couldn't do it.
No. I'm
I
sure
mean-
he could have had he kept.
No, I say
That's
I
what I'm
Instead,
saying.
you
No,
know, basketball.
I'm not disputing that. Yes, look, with anything, in order to be great at anything, you must have repetition.
No, you don't.
But to sit there, what?
if you're 6'4", 245.
Man, you can't just go play checkers without practicing. I guarantee somebody gonna spank you in checkers.
But checkers is different.
Well, like with anything,
Checkers
in
is
order to
the
be
middle
good
of the
at
game
it, you
with
have to
checkers.
have repetition.
No, you can find a boy at 6'4", 245, runs a 4.7, put him at defensive end, say, here, you go get him, and he might be all district. You're not going to do that in baseball.
Yeah,
Say,
but
hey,
that-
man, you
that-
got quick feet, and then you go up there and you
But
can't
like
get
you
the
said,
ball.
that doesn't guarantee him a professional career, and it certainly does not exclude him from a possibility.
It doesn't.
of one.
Antonio Gates didn't even play college football, and he's one of the greatest tight ends in the history of the
Right, neither
game.
did.
You're not going to find a baseball player comparable to that. Marcus Pollard didn't play. You can put in, you can plug anybody at tight end. Jimmy Graham.
That's it's on there.
Because it's about athleticism and
Tight end,
size.
too.
But no. Tight end, you got to learn pass routes, all of it. That stuff is not simple. If you got hand-eye coordination minimally and can reach up and catch a football, which is a lot easier than hitting a baseball.
You're saying because there basically you're saying well how I'm receiving it because there is no precedence. You're saying that it's not possible.
Sure.
And I'm saying that's absurd.
I'm telling you,
Anything is
George was
possible.
getting the hang of it, and then he decided
No,
to go back.
not
and
getting-
Man, y'all better go pay attention.
You
Man.
better pay
You better go watch how his
179.
how his batting average improved.
I mean,
His
it was
batting
at
average improved.
170. How do you not improve?
In double A.
Call it what you want.
He was never going to be a factor on anybody's baseball team.
No, he wasn't. He was just doing something until his suspension was going to
He
be
was
up.
doing something because he could.
Exactly.
And
Right.
I'm saying that
But at the same time, he was competing with those boys too.
No, he wasn't.
he was paying the gym
He brought a bus.
and the locker
They
room.
changed their travel line.
And
In the locker room.
if the man's batting average was going up, how you gonna sit here and say he wasn't competing?
It wasn't going to go up enough. Now from
Like I said,
zero,
now, but
zero, it can only go up.
being a professional period is difficult. That's why the percentages of being professional are so low.
No.
Are so low compared to when everyone. But to sit here and say that no, it can't happen, that's absurd.
I'm going to sit here and say it can't
Unlikely.
happen.
Strongly unlikely.
Number one, it hasn't happened.
That's what I'm saying. You say because it hasn't happened, it can't happen, and I'm saying that's crazy.
No, I'm not saying. Look, okay. Based on probability, based on the data that's before me, I can't say it's impossible. I mean, a lot of things are possible. All right, you can jump off this building and live, but most likely it's
Because I'm telling you, I done seen urban baseball, which is worse than not playing baseball at all, and some of them falls and end up being professional baseball.
Ooh,
Carl Crawford.
that's one guy.
Stop it. That's not the only guy. I can
That
name
is
quite
the
a
only
few.
guy.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you who was actually a very good baseball player, but won't
I
nobody
mean,
else.
Michael
Like you
Bourne
said,
played RBI, but guess what? He was so good in RBI that people took him under their wings, and he wound up playing a lot of baseball. You're not going to come up playing just RBI
DeAndre Jordan
and
was
playing.
actually a pretty good baseball player. Believe it or not, DeAndre Jordan.
Okay, I'm sure he
He really
was.
was.
Until he got set free.
Okay, now what's that got to do with what we
I'm saying
What's
so.
that
I've
P?
seen
Good.
urban baseball players again, which the level of
saying
baseball
urban?
that they were playing in
He said urban.
was less than not playing at all. They could have done better just playing in high school, starting to play in high school, and they were able to make it to the professional
No,
rank.
no.
So it's not that.
But they played RBI, right? They played urban baseball starting at what age?
Not even RBI. It was just baseball in the hood.
But they played in the league, right?
Some of
So like little league.
them. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Oh,
structured.
definitely.
Then they kept.
No,
playing
what I'm telling
baseball.
you, it was less than structured.
No,
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
not. You can't tell me that playing
Just
on that
because it
level
was the league that-
is worse than not playing at all. You have to.
Oh yes,
No,
I
it's
can.
not, because you're still sitting there playing. And then what happens
That's
is the kids
exactly
that
my
are
point.
good.
That is also why I'm
No,
saying
no,
you
no.
can do it from the 9th grade.
No, you can't, because what happened with people like Michael Bourne and Carl Crawford is that people were like, hey man, this kid is too good to be playing RBI. Who wants to sponsor him so he can go play select ball? And that's what happened. They didn't just come from out of, Carl Crawford didn't just come from out of nowhere and become a Major League Baseball player. He played a lot of baseball,
I'm
the only
saying
way
he
it
came
happened.
out of nowhere. I'm saying he got a late start and he still was
How
able
late
to,
was his start? When did he start playing RBI?
I think what, 12, 13?
Okay, that's not very late.
That's 2 years before high school.
Yeah, that's not that late. 11,
So what's the difference? 14 and being 12. What's the difference?
It's 2 years
That's
of
a lot
growth in
different.
a baseball player.
Man,
That's a
stop.
deeper voice.
Okay,
Stop.
it is. I'm
That's
sorry.
That is a lot different.
No, it's not.
That's 2 years of an adolescent growing.
Yes, that is. Which is also my point that it doesn't matter whether you started in the
Actually,
ninth grade.
it does.
No, it
It
does
does.
not.
It
Because
does.
your understanding of the game, like anything with repetitions, you get better.
I will tell you right now. Tell the boys that started in high school, you can start at 9th grade playing baseball.
Say what?
Tell the boys that started in high school, you can just start at 9th grade playing baseball. I'll tell.
I guarantee you, if
them
there
and be
was a
like,
player out there who had the attributes, then it could be done.
how do you know he has the attributes if he never played baseball?
Because there's certain things if he can judge a baseball, if he can read it off the bat and he's able to catch the ball and get up under the ball, that's an attribute of, oh, this boy can play a little bit. Even if he may not be making clean contact, but he's able to swing at a fast pitch, that's an attribute that, oh, okay, he can play this a
I'm
little
saying,
bit.
how would you know this?
What you mean, how would you know this? We're saying if he starts in the 9th grade.
That means he's not playing baseball. How would you
If
know
he
it?
starts in the 9th grade, he's playing somewhere.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. So if he's out there for the first time, but he exhibits the attributes that can be developed into a baseball player, it can be done.
They're gonna say,
would you
damn,
know?
I wish I had this kid 4 years ago.
They might say, damn, I wish I had him 4 years ago, but they're not gonna say, oh, you ain't gonna make it, bro, so just go sit down.
They're
I
gonna say,
assume
yes,
they're not
right.
gonna say that.
They're
I
gonna
don't
say, yeah,
understand how-
depending upon what high school he goes to. Now, like you said, at Sterling or somewhere, they'd have to take him because they just need to get 9. They just need 9 to show up.
Because there's a lot of kids
If he
that
goes to
just
Bel Air
play
or Lamar,
baseball.
if he goes to Bel Air, Lamar, or West Side, and he shows up, or Katy, and he shows up, and they say he's got some attributes, but I ain't got time for that. Go sit down. We're gonna let Mark Reed Tanner's gonna
Yeah,
play.
that's at those,
And
that's
you're
at
gonna
those
sit-
places, but it's not gonna see, you're not gonna sit and tell me, oh, he can't make the league.
He can't. He's not gonna make the league. Now you know how people look at because like Jamal said, you're not gonna know his attributes because you see a kid's attributes in football and basketball where a coach sees a big old boy walking around and say, "Hey, come out for football."
That's not an attribute.
But that isn't being big. Being tall is not an attribute in basketball. Being big and swole is not an attribute.
Oh, now
in
you
football.
know just as well as I do, being big and tall doesn't make you a good ball player.
It definitely doesn't.
But it can make you a ball player.
It can make you a ball
And
player.
so my point is, not playing early does not make you not a ball player.
Football and
Now,
basketball do
starting
not-
much earlier would definitely give you a better chance,
No,
but you're not
but
gonna sit there and you have no chance at all.
You don't. The skill set is
Man,
different
that's
in
absurd.
football and basketball, man.
Yes, the skill set
It's
is
100%
different.
different
The
because
skill set
baseball
is
is all skill. The same reason why you'll never see a guy like Lance Berkman playing linebacker for anybody.
You
Okay.
say baseball is all skill when they stand still for basically 3 hours.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Don't
Yes,
take
it's
that
all
opinion,
skill.
brother. You played the game.
It's all
Exactly,
skill.
and that's how I know you stand still for 3 hours.
That's all you
Until
know.
a ball is hit to you or thrown to
And
you.
that don't make you not skilled. That makes your
That's exactly my point.
No, but no, yes. Okay, if that's your point.
So you're not gonna sit and tell me you can't play the game?
That happens in
When
the
truth be
NBA.
told, most and they'll tell you this. Baseball players in the past were not athletes.
Okay, but
They didn't have to be.
check me out though.
Which is the beautiful
That's
part,
the part.
which
That's the part.
proves our point.
Which
You
this
have-
is
If you
exactly
have
my
the
point.
skills and you can hit the ball, you don't have to be an athlete.
So
Pete
if-
Rose was not an athlete.
It's not a complicated game.
It
Yes,
is,
it
though.
is.
No,
because
it's
you
not.
don't have to be an
There's
athlete.
nothing complicated about baseball.
It is.
Hitting the
Nothing.
ball is
Okay,
complicated.
check me out.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
Actually,
is.
okay,
It's
it's
a
not.
very
Okay, if you don't think
complicated
that's not hitting a ball, how would you know who to back up? How would you know what base to take? How would you know where to throw?
That's
in
not
certain
even the
positions?
problem. Because
But see, that's not his point. That was my point.
No,
That's the
that's
part
not the
that
hard
makes it
part.
difficult as far as
No, that's
there's a lot of aspects of the game you have to
But
teach.
that's where you learn the game at a very early stage in your life.
But that's in any sport.
My
though.
point is that's not the problem. You can teach somebody to run bases. You
So he's
can.
saying you can do that. So
Yeah.
if I can teach somebody to run bases, that means if you come out here in the 9th grade and you run a 4-2, I don't have that hard to do. All I tell you is step outside the line when you're trying to beat the throw down 1st. turn, and go to the next base. It doesn't require much.
If he hasn't had at-bats before this,
If you're talking about
it is not gonna happen.
the 10 hardest things to do in sports, from sports stop something html.com. Hitting the baseball, throwing at 90 miles an hour, driving a race car speeds over 200 around the track, pole vaulting heights over 15 feet, hitting a golf ball long and
You
straight,
know how hard that is.
returning a 130 mile an hour tennis serve. That's just the top 5.
Yes, they're talking about at great levels.
What you mean? No,
Yes,
in
it's
general
difficult.
world.
It's difficult to hit a 90 mile per hour
In
baseball.
general.
Absolutely.
But that's what
They're not doing that in high school. What?
Yes,
You have
they are.
a very selective few. Every baseball player is not throwing 90
But
miles
you're
per
doing it in
hour.
college. You're doing
Every
it in
high
college,
school
right?
player is not throwing 90 miles per hour. in
But
high
you're
school.
doing it in college, right?
But
Yes, you do it.
So you're only playing high school to get to college. The whole point of the conversation is that you had to start early in order to become a
Yeah, you
professional.
saying you can't do it at all. I'm saying it's absurd.
That's not absurd.
That is
The
absurd.
data is there. Show me the one who did it.
okay, no,
Don't
So
be
what?
caught up in semantics.
That's not so much.
Nothing is
Show me the
impossible.
one who did it.
but I'm saying
Show me one. I can tell you a bunch of
You're not-
football players.
you're not going to face.
So what? Because so you have a selective few. That doesn't mean that
Selective few what?
that. So you have a selective few in football.
You know when Warren Sapp, the
don't have
Hall
one
of Famer,
in
you know when he started playing football?
I don't care when he
Junior
started
year of high
playing
school.
football. That's not my point.
Junior year of high
You're
school.
actually proving my point.
I'm not. I'm proving my
That's
point.
If
I'm
you
proving
can do it in football, you can do it in baseball.
No.
I don't know about
Yes,
that.
you can.
No.
Not even Bo Jackson.
The problem is, yes.
No, it is
Now-
no point in this conversation because the man is looking down upon baseball. He does not see baseball as, I would say, on a sport on the same level as football.
That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm
That's
saying
what
at
it
all.
sounds like to me.
What I'm saying to you is, talent is talent, and sometimes talent can make up for lack of fundamentals, lack of beginning. One of the reasons that there was such a decline in black athletes playing baseball was because of the many different economic factors, but the moment some of these kids, many of them were late bloomers, began to get exposure to the game, there has been an increase back in baseball. What was my man that pitched for
What increase?
what are you talking about? Do you not remember in the early 90s where there were no black athletes in the major leagues? Now they're going back up.
There were always black athletes. It
Man, you
declined.
gotta look in the late 90s. There
Yeah.
were no black athletes in Major League
No,
Baseball.
So now you're gonna say there were none. Now you're gonna
There were.
say there were
There
none.
were.
I bet you it was less.
There weren't
I
many.
bet
No.
you it was less than
No,
10%.
You know why it's going back up?
I bet it was less than 5%.
You know
then.
why it's going back up?
now.
No, it ain't no less than
It's
5%.
No, but you know why it's going back up? It's going back up because of all those black daddies that said, "Man, I should have stuck with baseball. I'm gonna make sure Junior play baseball."
Because
I know so many
because
people
like
who
you
said
said,
that.
because of the
And
RBI initiative.
The RBI has nothing to do with it. You
The
know what
RBI
has more
has
to do
a
with
lot
it?
to do with
No,
it.
it's black people moving to the suburbs and
Being
putting their
able to
kids in
play
these
baseball
suburban
more.
leagues. That's what made it go up. Okay?
So
it's
we're
not
saying-
RBI. RBI had nothing to do
We're
with the
saying the
increase.
same thing.
What are we saying the same thing?
Because they start playing baseball again.
Yes.
We're saying the same thing.
No, but they didn't
They
start
started
playing in the
playing
10th
baseball
grade.
again.
Not in the 10th
So
grade,
those
the 9th
boys
grade.
did.
So they didn't. Who? Who?
I just tried. What's my man? Dontrell Willis.
Dontrell Willis started playing baseball.
He was a late bloomer. I don't know if it was the 9th grade. I think it was like 12, 11. That's a late start. If you start to play baseball at 12, you're late compared to folks who were playing at 7.
That's not really
Not
that
really.
late. I mean, that's 7. You ain't really playing
talking
baseball.
about? What are you talking
You ain't
about?
really playing baseball.
The major league, the Little League World Series level that we're talking about, those kids are 12 and 13.
Yes, they are.
So and those kids have been playing for years. So if you start playing at 12, if you just start playing at 12, you're a late bloomer.
Not really.
Yes, you are. You're a late bloomer in baseball. I assure you, you are. Because those kids have been playing since they were 6, 7. They've been playing T-ball. They were playing coaching splits. They were playing pitching machines. They were playing all of those things. That's at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 6 year difference.
Check me out though. Only like 1% of those people you talking about make it as a professional in baseball. So it doesn't matter.
According to Amar, he's saying it's 0%.
No, I'm saying your skill, your kid.
He's saying it's 0%.
No, I'm saying the skill, the kids that start early, that everybody you're talking about, even them at 1% only make professional.
Well, yeah,
that's my point. And that was my initial point. That playing anything professionally requires repetition. And it requires you be elite in some form or fashion. If it was easy for everybody would be professional ball players.
How would you know this person has a baseball attribute?
Because anybody can stand around for 3 hours, but only a select few get to do it for $40 million a year.
That was my initial point. I'm saying the fact that you said nobody has done it. I'm saying hitting a 90-mile-per-hour baseball is difficult regardless of who you are, whether you started at 6 or whether you started at 14.
No,
you can't do it because it's hard to do.
Yeah, but if you started playing at 10, you're more likely to be able to catch up to a 90-mile-an-hour fastball because you started with the 50, then you went to 70, then you went to 80 in high school, and then when you get up to college and the pro,
and I'm saying that's bogus because if that was the case, then everybody would do it.
If what was the case, then everybody.
If that was the case, then everybody who started playing ball at 10 years old would be professional.
No, I did not say that. I'm saying you're more likely. If you started early, you were more likely to make it.
And you're saying that if you start late, then you're not going to do it. You didn't even say you're more than likely not to do it. You're saying you're not going to do it. And I'm saying that's crazy.
If you have a kid that starts playing baseball for his high school team, 9th grade is his first year, that kid will not get a college scholarship to play baseball. I'll 100% guarantee it.
And I'm saying,
I'll 100%
I'm saying more than likely
not
you're
talking
right,
about
but
that's
not
I'm
true.
talking about at all. But I can take a big jump here and say, hey man, get in the 3-point stance, go rush that quarterback. And if he's 6'4", 245, he can do it. Because it don't take a whole lot of, you don't have to have a lot of reps of rushing the quarterback. That's my thing. I don't know.
I just want to know how you know the attributes of a baseball player.
I just told you how you know the attributes of a baseball player.
For somebody who just started day one at 14 years
If
old.
he can run fast, he can play baseball. That means you can be a center fielder. You can be a base runner.
Not if you can't.
You can be a leadoff hitter. You can be a leadoff hitter. You don't have. All you have to do is get on base. Which means you can bunt on base.
This ain't Little League, bro. They're not gonna
What are you talking about?
They're not gonna.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? If you're fast, you can get on base.
How?
You've got to
You see swinging bunts all the time.
You got to see bunts first all the time.
Teaching that kid to bunt. First off,
I said a swinging bunt, meaning accidental bunts. You see that all the time. If you're fast enough to beat off the throw, you get on base. You're a baseball player.
yeah, but these are people.
All I need you to do is get on base.
You know when you see
Again, if you're fast enough to chase down a ball,
You bet 1
if
second.
you're fast enough to chase down a ball, you can play in the outfield.
You know what I see more than
If you got a strong enough arm to throw it across the diamond, you can play third base.
You know what I see
And
more
if you
than-
can't quite throw it across the diamond, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shorten the distance and make you a pitcher.
But guess what I don't
Well, if
see
you come
more
to me in
than
the 9th grade, I'm gonna tell you, just save your time, especially if I got decent.
And I'm gonna say, come here, boy, I'm gonna teach you how to play baseball.
Okay.
You know what I see more than swinging bunts?
Home runs?
Strikeouts.
Okay. What? Exactly. I'm not. It is difficult to hit a baseball. That's not what I'm saying. But like I said, it's difficult for everybody to hit a baseball. Whether you started at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yes, which is why that's what you look for. You don't look for them to be fast. You look for them to be able to hit a baseball.
You're not gonna sit there and tell me you can't. You're not gonna sit there and tell me you can't play baseball just because you started in the 9th grade.
Okay. Now you know for a fact, because this was a great frustration to me during my football career, is that they will go and take a dude who runs a real good 100, just take a dude off the track team and put him out there wide receiver. They don't go to the track team and say, hey man, you want to play center field? I've never heard of a baseball coach pulling a dude off the track team. Football coaches do it all the time.
Well, that's awesome because
Because if you can run and you're not scared to get hit, you can play football. Just because you can run does not mean you can be a good baseball player. And that's why coaches don't go pulling fast guys off of the track team and making them leadoff hitters. They just don't. Because you gotta be able to swing that bat. That's my theory as to why Kyler Murray went to the NFL draft.
He couldn't hit.
That's what I think. I think he knows that I'm never gonna catch up to this
That's
league
why,
pitcher.
I guess that's why Russell Wilson really ain't made no other team, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, no, he has a stipulation in his contract won't let him play baseball.
Yes, but he wasn't good at baseball. Is the point.
Okay, so back to that whole thing.
Jameis Winston, he was a baseball player. I was thinking,
Jameis Winston did it. Yeah, he was a pitcher.
I mean, it's a bunch of folks who didn't do
There are
it. That's what I'm saying.
68 more African Americans on rosters. There are 68 African Americans on rosters, which is 6 more than last year. When baseball had its lowest percentage of black players since 1958.
So last year being 2017, 18.
Yes, they added 6 to reach this goal that they have written in multiple articles about.
60.
Yet, despite the uptick, nearly 1/3 of all Major League Baseball teams don't have more than one African American on their 25-man roster.
Right.
That is absurd.
And it doesn't. People talk about all the money it takes.
That'd be like, what, 3%?
They put it at 7.1. Or
7.8%.
7.8 this year, 7.1 last year.
I mean, because
7.1%.
back when you had all these black
That's
ball
on the
players.
opening day roster.
Yeah. But back when you had all these black ball players playing, but when it was 19, 20%, it was like 30% in the 70s. I mean, it was crazy.
They were counting the Latin Americans
Yeah.
at that, which they do not count now.
Yeah,
now
right,
this
right.
is simply
This is just simply
African Americans
African-Americans,
and African Canadians.
Right.
They counted like 4 of those. Them, excuse me, not those. 4 of them.
Yeah, but it really. 4 of those people.
Those
I know what you mean.
Those
I'm right
Afro-
for it. I know exactly what you mean. You know, them.
4 of those.
Yeah,
people.
them.
and those people that said
Who
A,
left the gate though?
A,
So, I don't know. I'm glad that they're improving with that. As far as, I don't even want to get to the other thing. So I'm glad they're improving with that. They need to continue all of their initiatives. They need to keep it going. And they need to keep adding more
Black
and
kids
more.
need to care about
The game
baseball.
will
If
improve.
more black kids like baseball,
black kids need to care about all sports, honestly.
I mean,
Oh,
we do, but we only care about.
No, we don't care about all sports.
Yeah, we do.
No,
We care
most
about
kids start
basketball
off
and
caring
baseball.
about
I mean, basketball and football. And they talk about how expensive baseball is. It is, but football and basketball is getting expensive too.
The problem with baseball is
I know
that you
kids are
have to
multiple
literally
ages.
know 8, 9 people that you can get together
And our-
at one spot. And in
8, 9
society
people.
nowadays they don't.
That's
That's all
right.
online. You're not gonna have.
Now you have to know 18 people.
Yeah, but you're not
I'm
gonna
not
get.
even talking about full squad. I'm just trying to get enough to play a little game. You know.
Yeah, I know, but you're not gonna get anything on the sandline anymore. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking about even basketball players. Like
You got to pay to play.
you still have to pay to play. Like
And that's why American sports sucks. Oh, yeah.
The highest percentage was 18.4% in 1984.
okay, 84. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
and see.
Oh no, I take that back. In 81, it was 18.7.
And see, those people, those guys, I bet you 90% of them came from poor backgrounds.
Yeah.
But they had leagues in their neighborhoods that were organized and they played baseball.
But a lot
They
of
might
them
have
came
had
from
one
the
bat
South,
per
too.
team, but they played baseball.
A lot of them came from the South too.
All of them, yeah.
Tim Anderson is on
So these were poor people.
Bomani's whatever, and he was talking about how his biggest thing with it is just that it's just so hard for us to be able to play the sport us by us. I mean, it's so hard for African Americans to be able to play the sport, have the time to play the sport throughout their developmental stages when they're young, get recognized to have the talent, get drafted, and then still be able to wait those 3 to 4 years in the
I know
minor
many of
leagues,
them right.
and then just to come up just to see if you can become something in the actual majors. Where every other sport, the timeline is probably 5 to 7 years less, just off top. You can go swimming, tennis, you can do anything.
But
It's
I mean,
not going to be.
but once you start to
long
flood,
term.
once you start to flood the numbers, though, the
We have-
timeline gets shorter. You know what I'm saying?
We have to like the game. When's the last time you had a conversation with just a random black man about baseball?
Last time I was at a baseball
That'd
game.
be like,
Yeah, okay, you were at a baseball game.
Last time I was at a
But-
baseball
I do it all the time.
You just see but you just make eye contact with a brother at the car wash, and he's like, hey,
How about them Astros?
what'd you think about the Clippers, dog?
you know, the Rockets, what the Rockets gonna do?
Hold up, man. What you think about that Westbrook, man? Like, how do you even know I like
I
basketball?
don't like how he said.
I would say, why you become a caricature when you want to black people?
You are black. Just talk.
Exactly. Why did he become a caricature when he wants to talk about the representation of black people? Hey man,
That's how.
hey man.
That's what I do.
No.
When I'm talking about white man, I go, hey man, did you catch the Astros?
Yeah, but that's because you're not.
Hey, buddy.
This is what
She
you
real.
are.
Come on, man.
It's the words of a black
They're
man.
gonna make me put you on that list, man.
He was
You know
speaking-
that's how people talk?
He was speaking his Southwest dialect.
Nah,
you talking about?
gonna make me put you
That's
on
the
that
Southwest
list.
dialect.
Put me on the list.
Every week I start looking at you different. Every week
Why?
you do something make me go, I don't know about this boy, man.
What?
I don't know if I'm gonna keep him in my circle or not.
What are you talking
But you
about?
go against everything I believe in. You just
What do you believe in? That
He believes that.
our people don't have a distinct accent?
All people don't have a.
They don't? The vast majority of us don't? I mean, stop playing. When you tell the truth,
It's
you
not an
shut it down.
intelligent accent. You just all of a sudden, it's not an
You say
intelligent,
it's not an
unintelligent accent. You just became all of a, but you turned into a straight buffoonery.
No, I didn't. That's how we talk.
the Clippers, man.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think? How is it that they? Come on, stop.
How do we talk about sports when we're talking amongst each other? We talk a certain way.
I don't subscribe to that, sir.
Well, then you tripping because we about to go out here and talk, and you about to be like, man, you about to do that. Now you don't do that at work. You don't do that at work. Yes, you are. We're about to go outside.
You the one they put in front of everybody.
No.
You wanted them. You like one of them.
No.
You
No,
wanted
they
them.
put me in front of everybody.
What they
People
call
like
them on
an
CNN? The ones that
articulated
speak on Trump's behalf. What do they call them? Not consultants. What do they call them?
Speakers?
No. When they make sure they put the black face in front of him to make it look like he's speaking for all the black people on behalf of Trump.
Token is what I.
Not the one. What is it called?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You that guy.
No, I'm
Yeah, you dog. He's like, oh yeah, put him out there. He's articulate. He speaks on our behalf. He believes the same things we believe. You know
No, I
that?
don't. What are you talking about?
Because you sure turn into a character when you want to represent us. You know better than that. You know better than that. You know better than that.
Everybody who
Cory
listens.
Booker say you dip it in the
Okay.
Kool-Aid and
All right.
don't.
Look here. Everybody
Him and
that's
Cory Booker the same persuasion,
No, check it out.
same color.
Check it out. All two of y'all. Okay, all two of y'all who listening. Okay, we're about to go outside, and we're about to use some horrible grammar. We're all very educated men, but you know why we're going to do that? Because we speak our own vernacular around each other. That's the way it is. I've been around a bunch of Hispanic people that are very impressive, very smart people,
You don't start talking like this, do you?
but they do. And then sometimes I'll even sing a little bit with
You don't be like, say that, son. Say this and that, this and that. You don't start all of that.
They do, because that's the way they speak with each other. I'm just saying.
What was
It's colloquialism. It is what it is.
You better than that, man.
I'm better than what?
You better than that.
There's nothing to be better than. First off, see, I know you. You one of them black. You
Check
talking
out
about
the
me.
U.S. Championship.
This is one of them black
on
men that's
NBC.
afraid to eat watermelon.
Simone Biles gonna hold it down.
Okay.
By no
Alright.
means.
You like that?
Okay.
Simone Biles gonna hold it down.
Yeah, he one of the black
By no
people
means.
that's afraid to lick his fingers when he eating chicken when white people are around.
Well, first off, I don't
He
lick
get a
my
knife and
fingers
fork.
eating chicken,
He
period.
get a knife and
Yo,
fork.
he kills that
Big-
ball.
I gotta work on the bone. I ain't got no problem with it.
Straight through.
I'm gonna make sure it ain't a bone or a gristle on this thing. It ain't gonna be nothing but bone when I do this.
One of them Bill Cosby, bro.
I'm far from one of the Bill Cosby
Okay.
because I get
Alright.
permission.
Okay,
I get
no.
permission.
I'm not talking about that.
You got permission afterwards.
I'm talking about on,
Another
other behalf of
I
how-
never miss it. I'll never be one of those.
of how every black sitcom has to have a father that's a doctor and a man. Get out of here, Bill Cosby. You know that's not how we live.
So,
But everybody ain't drug dealers neither. That's
I'm not saying we
He's
are.
just trying to get
Most
you out.
of us are just regular
Everybody,
people
when we
who
start
work.
talking about sports, they'll all of a sudden just forget how to talk.
They don't forget how to talk. I understand.
Hey, man, everybody
They
with clippers.
that's that boy.
also don't come and say, "Hey, sir, how are you?" What do you think about Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers acquisition?
Well, maybe you need to change your environment in which you're going to speak sports in, sir.
I speak with you, and you don't talk. What do you think? Sit down.
We gotta leave it there, man. We're actually over time. You were listening to this Verizon
I ain't
Boy.
gonna get no
We are here 6 and 7. Oh, you want some music? Oh, I can
It's
see
up
it.
there. You can't hear it.
I don't hear that. I don't hear that.
Anyway,
We are here each and every Sunday night from 6 to 7 Central Standard Time. Be sure to check us out. Follow our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to check out our website, thegarageabt.com. And we got a big announcement coming up real soon, man. So y'all stay tuned. It's gonna be dealing with y'all's having y'all's access to us and some of the things that we can do with it. So y'all be sure to check that out. Be good, man. If you can't be good, then be good at it, man. Y'all stay blessed. We'll holler at y'all next time.
shout out Simone. What is that boy? She is with the she yawning on them people, man. That's how she is, man. This is the USC championships.
Man, I know I just cut this off. Why it's not stopping streaming?
Okay, so I'm on live. We gotta cut this off. Holla at us, Facebook.
My thing ain't reset. They kept me with this.
I don't know what's going on.
Are you serious?
Yeah. After you went back up there to do whatever, it just gave me that blank.
I don't know what's going
Oh
on.
shit, bro. That might not have.
And Charmaine talking that shit. She ain't send no email.
About what?
She said, "I'm gonna send all you guys an email. And you better answer." I've been looking for an email. She ain't sent no email.
Well,
Did you go to the
man,
garage
is this thing
department?
still going? I know I cut this
I
off.
thought I did, but when I came back, I might not have.
Did you go to the garage department email?
Yes.
Oh, you
We
good, you
finished,
good.
bro. I can't get the thing to cut off.
We struggling there. We didn't
We
have a
still
rock
streaming.
that.
I'm trying to cut it off over here. Won't stop.
Alright. Oh man, that's what I wanted to get to. Brittany Griner got a fight?
Who?
Brittany Griner?
You got to fight? Hey, we finished, bro. I'm telling you, I can't stop the stream for some reason. It won't stop.
She got in a fight with who?
Like,
Yeah,
what's
what
up,
she
fool? I saw it when I was just looking through.
So like right now, look, it's still streaming. I
She
don't
got in
know.
the fight with in the WNBA, bro. But like, I don't think
We
it was
spit over
an
extra. That's just the music stopping. The stream won't stop.
Hey, let's keep it going then. Turn the mics off as well.
What's up, bro? You ready, bro?
Being beige.
You ready?
Hey.
You got 2 weeks?
I don't want to talk about
Yeah. You got 2 weeks? You ready, bro?
Yeah, not time.
Hey,
Yeah, I was
man.
gonna say, he probably back already.
No, he ain't been, man. He ain't never go nowhere.
Yeah.
He just no longer he on them. He no longer on them 410s. Now he back to
Good hours on
He be back to them 5/8s.
Now you gotta deal with teachers tomorrow.
He back in them 5/8s.
You gotta deal with teachers tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm going back hella active.
What's up, man?
Like, what's up with y'all?
Oh my God, she ran too.
Well,
She was right to run because that's like a man.